Every day, you open the internet believing you're connected to the rest of the world. You're not. Because the internet is no longer one network. It is splitting into separate digital worlds. Russia is building its own internet. China already has one. Europe is trying to create another. And for the first time in history, where you live may determine what reality you're allowed to see. Most people haven't noticed because the walls aren't made of concrete. They're made of code. The strange part? This wasn't supposed to happen.
The internet was supposed to erase geography. That was the promise. A single network, one global conversation, information moving faster than governments could contain it. In the 1990s, politicians called it the information superhighway. Engineers called it a decentralized miracle. Activists believed it would weaken authoritarianism itself. No borders, no gatekeepers, no single point of control. For a brief moment, it almost worked. The early internet was structurally hostile to centralized power. Packets of data moved dynamically between nodes. If one route failed, traffic rerouted itself automatically. The architecture was designed for resilience, originally against nuclear attack, later against censorship. The system assumed openness by default, and that assumption created the largest information explosion in human history. American platforms expanded globally. Google indexed the world. Facebook connected billions. Amazon built invisible infrastructure beneath commerce itself. For the first time in history, a teenager in Ethiopia, Brazil, Russia, or Vietnam could consume the same information at the same moment. A unified digital civilization began to emerge. Then, governments realized what they had lost: control. The internet did not eliminate borders. It merely delayed their return. And when they came back harder.
Russia understood the threat early. Not the threat of hackers, the threat of dependence. For years, the Russian internet remained deeply integrated with Western infrastructure. DNS systems, cloud providers, routing exchanges, foreign platforms. A vulnerability hiding in plain sight. If geopolitical conflict escalated, Moscow feared the country could effectively be disconnected from the modern internet. So in 2019, Russia passed the Sovereign Internet Law. Officially, it was framed as a cybersecurity measure. In reality, it was the blueprint for digital isolation. The law forced Russian internet providers to install state-controlled deep packet inspection systems, machines capable of monitoring, filtering, throttling, or blocking traffic in real time. Not after publication, before delivery. Russia then began testing RUNET, a sovereign national internet capable of operating independently from the global web. Separate routing infrastructure, separate DNS systems, state-controlled exchange points. An internet with emergency disconnect capability. A kill switch. By 2022, after sanctions and platform bans accelerated, the transition intensified. Western platforms disappeared. Domestic alternatives expanded. Information flow narrowed. Not because the internet failed technically, because geopolitical fragmentation made a unified network strategically dangerous. China went further, much further. The Great Firewall is often misunderstood as a censorship tool. It is not merely censorship. It is industrial policy, psychological architecture, civilizational containment. China did not simply block foreign platforms. It replaced them. Google became Baidu. Twitter became Weibo. YouTube became Youku. WhatsApp became WeChat. A parallel internet emerged, self-contained, self-sustaining, massively profitable, and critically, sovereign. For decades, the West assumed openness would inevitably win. Instead, China proved something else. A nation could wall off the internet and still become a technological superpower. That realization changed everything. Because once one major power successfully localized the internet, others began asking the same question. Why are foreign corporations controlling our infrastructure at all? Then Europe entered the race, but differently. The European Union does not frame internet fragmentation as censorship. It frames it as sovereignty, digital sovereignty, a phrase that sounds bureaucratic until you understand what it actually means. It means governments no longer trust foreign technology companies with critical infrastructure, cloud storage, AI systems, personal data, financial transactions, communications. For years, European data flowed directly into American hyperscale clouds operated by Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. An uncomfortable dependency, especially after Edward Snowden exposed the scale of American surveillance capabilities. Then came GDPR, data localization laws, the Gaia X initiative, sovereign cloud projects. Europe began constructing digital borders not through censorship, but through regulation.
Data produced inside Europe increasingly needed to remain inside Europe. The logic was simple. If another nation controls your data infrastructure, they possess leverage over your society itself. And suddenly, the internet was no longer viewed as a shared human system. It became terrain, strategic terrain, like oil pipelines, shipping lanes, nuclear submarines. The unified internet did not collapse overnight. It fragmented gradually, protocol by protocol, law by law, firewall by firewall, until the network humanity depended on became politically incompatible with itself. The most dangerous consequence is not technical, it is psychological. For most of human history, geography determined what people could physically access. Now, geography determines reality itself. What news you see, what history you learn, which narratives survive, which disappear. Two people can witness the same event and receive entirely different versions of it, generated by entirely different digital ecosystems. Not accidentally, systemically. Algorithms already fragmented attention. Now, nations are fragmenting truth. The internet once centralized information globally. The Splinternet regionalizes it. And once societies lose a shared informational foundation, consensus itself becomes unstable. Not because people are irrational, because their realities are no longer synchronized. A Russian feed, a Chinese feed, an American feed, a European feed. Different incentives, different filters, different truths. The result is something humanity has never experienced before. Planet-scale civilization with incompatible versions of reality operating simultaneously. The terrifying part is this fragmentation is accelerating precisely because it makes strategic sense. Governments want control. Corporations want market dominance. Citizens want security. And all three incentives point toward the same outcome: a divided internet. Not one web, many webs. Invisible borders, invisible censorship, invisible isolation. Most people will never even notice it happening because the prison still feels infinite from the inside.
But fragmented reality alone is not enough, because even inside these digital borders, there is still one resource every system is fighting to control: your attention. Not just corporations, governments too. Because whoever controls attention shapes perception, and whoever shapes perception shapes reality itself. The internet did not free humanity from control. It optimized control beyond anything previous civilizations could imagine. The World Wide Web is splitting apart. The internet is dividing itself into distinct sections. The Splinternet explains who built the walls. The video on your screen right now explains why they need you trapped inside them.